Are we live? Are we live? Hey, all right. I think we're going now. Good. So, sorry, I was running a little bit late, guys. Had to, like I said, take care of something for work. Thank you guys for being patient, waiting on me. Got here a little bit earlier than I expected to. Let's get the disclaimers out of the way while we're letting everybody get in here and get settled. So, again, this is a weekly live broadcast, most Thursday evenings, 7 o'clock Central Time. This is where I'm at. I don't have a topic planned out. My goal here is just it's my time to interact with you guys, your time to interact with me. So I do my best to respond to all the chats that come in during the live chat itself, and try to get a response to all of those, unless you guys are talking to each other, which is fine with me. I just kind of tend to skip those and get on to people that are talking to me. What else? The only things I ask: be family friendly, be polite, don't start cussing, don't call people names, don't be hateful. We'll kick you out. Other than that, pretty much anything's open. Ask me just about anything you want to ask. We talk about all kinds of crazy things in here besides just quail and rabbits, or gardens for that matter. All right, let's get into it. Matt B was here first, came in early. I don't know if you're still sticking around, but good to see you. Thank you. He says, I've been watching your quail videos today and just caught that you'll be live. Going to try to check it out and join the fun. Awesome. We're glad to have you here. Thank you for joining. McLeod Family Farm. I love that name, McLeod Family Farm. I think you should still change it, like McLeod, Clan McLeod Family Farm or something. I don't know, Clan McLeod Farm. I don't know. Anyway, I'm being goofy. It says, hey, hope you're having a good day. I am. Thank you. I hope you guys are all too. I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. Those of you that celebrate it, and got to see some family and hang out with them. Paleo Greenbird says, well, I guess now we don't have to take attendance, but also don't count tardiness. Yeah, no kidding. 12 Gauge says, no worries, we'll wait, Chris. Hi, and all from North Central Arkansas. And then he leaves. Says, I'll be back in a few minutes. Gotta go feed the quail. Thanks for waiting for me, though. I appreciate it. Katrina, good to see you. Says, hey, everyone from Gilroy, California. S. McKee says, hey, everyone, first live that I'm not late. And I was late. You were on time and I was late. You just can't win, can you? Nelly says, saying hi to everyone. My first live. Awesome. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate it. And hopefully we can help you out if you have some questions. Let's see. Jeff Sapp from Central Missouri. Good to see you. Everyday Oil. Cooper's Hawk attacked my quail hatching time cage today. Opened the door and removed 2 birds. I love ideas on protection. Oh, man, I'm sorry to hear that. He actually opened the door, huh? That's crazy. I had a hawk after my birds for a while. I thought it was a Cooper's Hawk, but it ended up not being. It ended up being, I don't remember what kind of hawk it was. Somebody told me in a birding group I'm in, but I always have such a hard time telling the difference between different hawks. Anyway, he went after my birds for a while. He was a younger one. He eventually gave up and moved on. So I don't know if I have good advice for you other than maybe try to secure the door so he can't get in. If he can't get into the hutch, then, if he can't open the door and he can't get to the birds, then, he'll probably give up and move on eventually. If he can get in, I don't know how he opened the door. So whatever, figure out how he opened it. See, it was a hatching time cage. I've seen those cages in person, but I don't remember how they latch closed, how it works. So you may have to do something to secure it to make sure it doesn't, come open somehow or another. And again, I think he would kind of move on after that. Other than that, let's see. I don't have any good suggestions for it, unfortunately. Let's see if somebody else does when we're in here. It is illegal to, you can't, you can't shoot the bird. You can't, do any, legally you can't do it anyway. I guess, you'd have to look into it. If it's destroying your livestock, there is some leniency there, I think, but it's probably not worth, getting into. Migratory birds, and in fact, pretty much all birds are pretty well protected. I wish I had a better answer for you. I just don't know of any other answer other than that. All right, Casey Outdoors, hello from Carbon, Indiana, I think it is. Good to see you. S. McKee, Everyday Oil Mommy says, buy a couple of clips. I use dog-lead clips that I found at Wallyword. A bird cannot open them. There you go. That was my suggestion too, really. So I love chickens from Oklahoma. Good to see you here. Hey, my Shire's here. Says, everybody, I can't stay. I have some work to do, but I wanted to stop by and watch for a few minutes before I have to go back out to the barn. So, hey, Chris and everyone, hello to you. Thanks for joining, Zach. Appreciate it. And we will see you later. It's okay. I perfectly understand. I never seem to be able to make it to anybody else's live broadcast. Very seldom do I ever get to make it. So no hard feelings. Where where are we at here? Avery Bird says, greetings from California. At what time do you replace your rabbit does? Or at what age do you replace your rabbit does? I don't necessarily have a specific age that I'm, that I replace them necessarily. Usually a doe is going to be good for about 4 years, somewhere right around in there. Some of them will go a little longer, some of them a little less, but about 4 to 5 years, somewhere right around in there before they stop producing. So what I do is I just kind of, as they start getting older, I watch them. And when they have a couple of litters in a row where they're not, hang on, it's work. You probably got to take this real quick. Hey, what's up? No, but that's okay. I got feedback from the show and Springfield, so I had enough feedback to send off. But still, yeah, if he's got it, go ahead and send it to me. I'll use it later. Okay. Mm-hmm. And a lot of them do. Well, we can sell EPP if it's available. Yeah. Yeah, it's okay. All right, that sounds good, man. Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate it. See you. All right, sorry about that. Sometimes work gets busy. My I'm an account manager for a call center, if you didn't know, and the other account manager, him and I are both on the same campaign. He's out this week, so I'm handling everything, which is okay. It's just had to take a call real quick. Where are we doing? Okay, so rabbits again. So what I do is, as the doe gets older, and I know that she's getting older, I start watching the litters that she's having, and when the litter count starts to drop significantly, like she was having 9, 10 babies every litter, and then all of a sudden she's only having 3 or 4. When I get that 2 or 3 times in a row, I know it's probably about time to go ahead and retire her and go for another one. Or like my current doe, her last litter, she only had, I think, 4 or 5 babies, which is really small litter for her. And then the litter, this last time I bred her, she was really late in delivering, like a week and a half late past her due date. And she only delivered 1 stillborn kit. And it was very, very large. So that's when I know it's time to retire her. She's no longer going to be a breeder, and I move on from there. But I see you asked another question. Any luck finding new rabbits? I have not yet. Still kind of looking. It's just, it's tough sometimes right now, especially holiday season's coming up. And, just, with work and all those kinds of things, it's hard. I can't make too far of a road trip right at the moment. So I've been looking, haven't found anything that's real good. I'm going to hold out a little bit and try to get some good quality rabbits. I'm not going to take there's a bunch of rabbits for sale in my area, but they're all mixed breeds. Either, just mutts or, New Zealand, California crosses are pretty common, which is not terrible. But, like I said in my video the other day, I'm really looking for some good pedigree rabbits. I'd like to be able to provide those. They're just so hard to find in this area. I'd like to be able to provide that to people looking for rabbits in the area. I think I could sell a couple out of every litter, pay for my feed costs, not make a lot of money. I'm not looking to make a lot of money off of it, but be able to provide people with pedigreed rabbits and at the same time cover my feed costs a little bit as well. So that's my plan. We'll see. Owen, I'm doing well. Thank you. Hopefully you are too. Hey, Whiskey Tango Farms is here. Brandon, I was just talking to him on chat, and I knew he was joining, so it's not a big surprise for me. But thanks for joining, Brandon. I assume it's just you. Says, good evening, Chris and everyone. Oddly warm today in Wisconsin. Was 46 today. Yeah, it was oddly warm here today, too. It has been for the past several days. I think it was like 60 degrees. I mean, I didn't even need a jacket. It was warm. It was kind of crazy warm. About 10, 15 degrees above normal for this time of year. Probably about 15 degrees, actually. Hello to you, Jay Moore. Who's that? Rednecked Poultry from North Carolina. Good to see you. Jay Moore says, was around 50 in Michigan. Nice for this time of year. Yeah. Hey, 12 gauge made it back. Good to see you. I Love Chicken says, quail due to hatch any day now. Well, good luck. I hope that works out well. I hope you get a great hatch rate and everything goes well. Ed says, hey, Chris, sorry to see you lost your birds, but it looks like the USPS doesn't want you to have any more, LOL. Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, I know the story. Somebody, I don't know if they wanted to, announce themselves, bought me some eggs. But they got shipped out, bought me some eggs from Whiskey Tango Farm. Whiskey Tango Farm shipped them out on Saturday. They still are not here yet, and it's Thursday. So kind of losing my hope on whether they'll show up or not. But that's okay. There's plenty of time to rebuild, and I still got enough birds that I could hatch eggs out from them in the spring, and so any of that's okay. But whoever, I know who it was, but I'm not going to say it if they don't want to announce it. Whoever bought me the eggs, thank you so much. It was such a nice gesture. I super appreciate that. It was just very kind of you to do that. Gary says, hello from North Carolina, Chris and the rest of the Quail family and friends. Hello to you too, Gary. Jesse Miller, good evening to you. Katrina, thank you for encouraging Yusuf with YouTube. You encouraged me as well. If a 13-year-old kid is going to, and I've been wanting to do it for a long time, what's stopping me? Sal and Tear is my channel. I'll have to check that out. Yeah, awesome. I'm glad to see that. So yeah, just if you want to start a YouTube channel, do it. Sorry, I'm making a note here so I can find it. There it is. I see you got a couple of videos up already. Let's take a look at that. I'll have to go back and check it out. I can put a face with the name now, though. There's your face on there. So congratulations on starting your channel. I hope it goes well. And good luck. I don't know what I was going to say there. Well done, not being afraid to show your face on the video. I think that's where a lot of people get, I don't know, afraid to do that. I'm not afraid to stand up and talk in front of anybody. I figure if I make a fool of myself, it won't be the first time. And who cares? Nobody remembers any of that stuff later anyway. All right, Sage Wolf, hello from Northeast Ohio. Hello to you too. Chad, good evening to everyone. Good evening to you. Vams, hello. My doe is on my third day, or is on, wait. Hello, my doe is 3 years. The day I purchased her, they bred her, and 2 days prior, she had a litter of 5. She accidentally hatched on the cage floor due to them moving rabbits from a wildfire. Should I be, there's more, concerned with her litter size? Not necessarily. Let's see. She was 3 years old the day you purchased her. They bred her, and 2 days prior, she had a litter of 5. So she had a litter of 5 2 days prior to you purchasing her, or she had a litter of 5 2 days prior to being bred. I'm not sure. And she had them on the cage floor, is what you're saying. I don't know that I'd be concerned with that. I mean, first time mom, 3 years old though. She's probably not a first time mom at that point. There is a good chance that she may always have smaller litters. That's not necessarily a bad thing. I don't know that it's really much to really be worried about. I would just watch her. I always give my does at least 2, usually 3 tries. And if she has, really small litters 3 times in a row, or doesn't do a good job of taking care of them 3 times in a row, then I get rid of them and I look for a replacement one. But I don't know that it's a big concern. I would give her another, try and see how she does on the next litter. 12 gauge says, how to hawk. Oh, to back up, I have had rabbits that had like a small litter, and then the next litter was right back to normal. So it's not that uncommon for them to do that every once in a while. All right, 12 gauge says, had a hawk that kept landing on the ground beside my outdoor quail pen, but the pen was fully covered in the chicken wire. So there was no way for the hawk could have gotten to the quail. Yeah, I mean, he couldn't get to my quail either. He was, he did get I think 1 or 2 of them. He was hanging underneath the hutch and trying to grab them through the wire at the bottom of the hutch. So, but yeah, if you just secure your cage, chances are they'll give up and move on. All right. Jay Moore, how 5-week quail get out of the cage is beyond me. Found a couple loose here and there, and the door was latched in a Winola cage. Good thing in the garage. So, yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. The Winola cage, do they have the egg roll out? That may be where they're getting out. But the 5 weeks old, they should be big enough they wouldn't be getting out. But they're still, a little bit on the smaller side compared to an adult bird. So it's a chance that they squeezed underneath that. I've always wondered how. Like, I've used those mason jar feeders, those gravity feeders, and I've had birds climb up inside of them before. Small, young birds, like day olds, 2 days old. But still, I don't know how in the world they got inside there. I don't know how they fit through that. So they will surprise you. It may be that they're coming out through the egg rollout cage, or part of the cage. I don't remember if they have a rollout cage on there, or egg rollout on there or not. Anyway, Gerard says, is it normal for a rabbit to be in labor for 31 hours? It was our second litter. And after she birthed 2 bunnies, the other 2 were stillborn the next day, and I had to help deliver her last bunny. I wouldn't say that that's normal. I don't know that it's a sign of any major concern. Like, I don't know that it's going to be a sign that's going to happen every time you have litter, a litter of babies or anything like that. It was her second litter. It does sound like she had some complications for whatever reason. Again, I would go back to try again, see how she does on the next litter. It could have just been difficulties with that litter for whatever reason. If it's a continuing issue, if it happens again, like second time in a row, I don't know that I'd try to breed her a third time. But chances are it was just a one-time thing for whatever reason. There's so many different things that could go on that could cause something like that to happen. It's hard to really pinpoint exactly what it is. But again, I don't know that it's a huge, major part of concern. Can you guys hear me okay? Hopefully you can. I just realized I'm sitting a little ways away from the mic. So if you can't hear me, let me know and I'll adjust. All right. Blessed with Pets says, how do you get a first-time doe to lift? Oh, common issue. Says I have 2 8-month-old mini Rex does and have had them since they were 6 weeks old. I just bought a proven buck, but the does won't lift. I put them together every day for the week and they have made no progress. Okay, that's the first thing. You're on the right track. So first thing is just keep trying. And I usually try morning, evening, morning, evening, morning, evening. Usually after about 4 or 5 tries, though, when you say put them together, make sure you're taking the doe to the buck. Don't take the buck to the doe. But I'm assuming you're doing all that. It sounds like you're on the right track. You're trying everything that you should be doing right there. There's a couple of things that you can do. You might try to add some light to extend the daylight. If you can get it up to 14 hours a day, there is some evidence that could help put her in the breeding mood, make her a little bit more receptive. So that might help. You're probably going to have to put the extra light on her for about a week and a half. And another trick that people swear by, I have no idea why it works, but they swear that it does. And so many people do that there's got to be something to it. Take one of your does, put them in a pet carrier, put it in your car and drive around the block a couple of times, bring her back, put her in with the buck. And they say that works all the time. So you can try that. I have not had to resort to that. Usually I can get them to lift after just continuing to try a couple of times here and there. But those are a couple of things that you can do to try to get them in the mood. It's very, very common, especially for first-time does, to be just a little reluctant to lift for the buck. Usually once they do, then they're over it, and it's not usually a continuing issue. But some rabbits, I've had rabbits that were just stubborn every time it came to breed. And, if that's the case, I would suggest looking for a replacement. It's just so much easier when, like my current doe, she's done breeding, but every time I put her in the buck's cage, she lifts for him right away. It's just so much easier that way. So, if it's a continuing issue, give her a try or two, a time or two, a litter or two, and see if she's still stubborn after having 2 litters and doesn't want to lift for the buck when you put her in there. You might look for replacements and see. But that's my best advice on that. Hopefully you get that one figured out pretty quick. Gerard says, with her first litter, she didn't have any problems. It was almost like the last 2 baby bunnies got stuck and made her swell so bad. I thought we were going to lose her. I immediately called a vet. Yeah, that sounds pretty scary, unfortunately. It could be that. Katrina says, how large is a large kid? I think you're talking about something else. I'll get to that here in just a second. But yeah, that can be scary. It happens in all kinds of animals. Cows are pretty common, goats, pigs, all those kinds of animals. Every once in a while have an issue where a baby gets stuck for whatever reason, and you have to help them out. But it's not always, like I said, a sign that something's going to be a continuing issue. I couldn't tell you the exact reason why it's happening. There's just a lot of different reasons why it could, but I don't know that I'd stress about it too much. I think now that it's over, you didn't lose her. Give her some time, let her raise these babies, give her time to recover, and then try to breed her again and see how she does on the next litter. Okay, Katrina says, how large is a large kid? It was about that long. I don't know if you can see that. What's that, about 3 inches long, through almost, 3.5 inches long, and about that big around. It was big. It was like the size of about a week and a half old kid, so it was about that size. It was pretty good size. Hello to you, Laura Shell family, or no, Laura Shell Farm, sorry. Says hello to everyone. Hey, Verna, good to see you. Says evening to everyone. Paleo Greenbird says thumbs up, everyone. Thank you. Yeah, and you may not have heard, Verna. She says, did you get your eggs set yet? No, I did not. Yeah. They have not come in the mail yet, so I don't have any eggs set. Laura Shell Farm says USPS is slow to get eggs from my shire. They shipped out Monday and I didn't get them until Friday. Yeah, it's well, and I think maybe some of that has to do with the time of year too. I mean, there is well, we got several things going on. I mean, there's still a pandemic going on. There's still an employee shortage going on. We can't hardly hire anybody. I mean, it's hitting everybody hard. Post office is no exception to that. Plus, it's the holiday. There's a big increase in shipping. So, they get overwhelmed with it. I mean, I get it. It's not good, but, I understand why. Ed Got Bait says, I felt bad and you helped me with your video, so I figured I would pay you back. Yep, I appreciate that, Ed. Thank you so much. I guess Ed doesn't mind, so I will tell you Ed Got Bait is the one that bought eggs for me. Katrina says sow and tear, or sow and tear. Sow as in sowing seeds, and tear as in balancing out a scale. Yeah, I get it. Did I say it wrong? I said sow, didn't I? Yeah. Whoops. I get it now. Gerard said, unfortunately, no vet could help, but I could still see her still contracting 24 hours later. And the last baby that I helped her deliver, I could see in her eye a sigh of relief. Is this all normal? Well, yeah, that's normal. If she's in distress and you helped her out from that, yeah, for sure. That is normal. It's not normal for them to have issues. I don't know that I've ever had that issue. And if you wouldn't have intervened, you probably would have lost her. So I think you did the right thing. Congratulations. Well done. But it's not a normal thing you're going to run into. You shouldn't run into, when you have other kids. Now, if you breed her again and she has the same problem again, I would not breed her anymore. I would call it good. Find somebody to, make her a pet rabbit. Find somebody to take her as a pet, whatever you want to do. But I would quit breeding her at that point. But other than that, I wouldn't worry about it. I'd just go on and just consider it a one-time thing. Numb. Yeah, okay. I won't read the rest of it. Anyway, it says, do you keep all your kits? If so, what qualities do you look for? No, I very seldom keep kits. I usually, I'm processing them. Larry Shell Farm says, hey, Verna, not used to seeing you without Blue. All right. We got a couple of people talking to each other. I'll skip all that. Stephen Chan says, left a brother and sister rabbit thinking nothing would happen. 4 months old and found a nest with 6 babies. Will they be okay for harvest? Yeah, they're fine. Don't stress about it. It's okay. I would try to, avoid doing that. You really don't want to breed brother and sister. I wouldn't keep any of those as breeders for future generations, but processing them, it's going to be fine. Don't worry about it. Verna says, this is why this is the worst time to ship eggs. Post office has problems all year round. Now it's magnified. Yep, I agree. Let's see. Casey Outdoors says, my YouTube channel has been dormant for about a year. Oh, I scrolled too far. Dormant for about a year. I'm going to start filming my quail. Just started in quail about a month ago. Awesome. Well, good luck. I hope it kicks off well. I hope it does well. Nick Build says, hey, Chris, is it bad I breed my quail siblings with each other? I've been breeding the daughters with the father, and I'm thinking of changing the father with the brother. No, it's fine. You can breed quail. They're not like some other animals, rabbits. Inbreeding is not really an issue with them for several generations. You don't really have to worry about it. If you just add new blood in every couple of years, every 2 years, maybe even 3, you're going to be fine. It's going to be nothing to worry about. I don't intentionally breed necessarily brother to sister, but I have no way of knowing. Once my young birds have grown up, that's usually how I, pick my future breeders. I just kind of guess at which one. I don't know which ones are brothers and sisters. There's no way to know. So yeah, it happens all the time. It's nothing to worry about. What the Quail Farm? Hello to you. Sheila White says, hey, for the quails, would you use heat lamps at temps below 40 for grown quails? I'm in North Georgia. Thank you. So you mean like they're grown, they're fully grown quail out in a hutch and it's getting down below 40. You don't need heat lamps. As long as they can get out of the wind. My birds don't have any heat lamps outside. And once they're about 4.5 weeks in the wintertime. In the summertime, it's a lot earlier. I move them out. But in the summertime or in the wintertime, when it's cold out, I usually go 4.5 to 5 weeks old, somewhere right around in there. Make sure they're fully feathered out. They go out to the outside hutches, and it gets way below 40 degrees here. Last year we had negative, not wind chill, but actual temperature, -5 degrees something, and I didn't lose a single bird. They're fine. They're incredibly cold hardy. As long as they've had a time to adjust to that temperature, you didn't just take them from a 80-degree brooder box and then throw them out in 20-degree weather. then they're going to be fine. You don't need to worry about heat lamps or anything like that. And you're better off probably not doing it on an outside hutch. Heat lamps can be kind of dangerous, and you don't want to catch your hutch on fire. But as long as they can get out of the wind, no worry, they're going to be fine. Whiskey Tango Farm says shipping a bunch on Saturday for a holiday hatch along, and I hope they all make it on time. I do too, man. Good luck. Let's see. Yep, you hear me fine. Good. We're doing well. All right, Vam says, I apologize. She should add that she had a litter of 5 before and 2 babies this litter. Okay, what were we talking about, Vans? Was that the one? I'm sorry, I got to scroll back and see our previous conversation because I don't remember. Okay, so you're the one that had the, you bought the doe that was 3 years old and she had her babies 2 days before. Okay, so I apologize. I should have said she had a litter of 5 before and 2 babies in this litter. Yeah, that's kind of a concern that, maybe she's not a great producer. I'd give her another shot, see how she does, and then, make a determination based on that. Jesse Mills says to Whiskey Tango Farms that you placed an order today. So good luck. I hope the eggs do well. I'm sure they will. 12 Gauge says to Sheila, says, I only put my heat lamp out when it's going to be below freezing. Quail are hardy as long as they're protected from the wind and rain and snow, etc. Chris knows best, though. Well, thank you very much, 12 Gauge. I never put a heat lamp out, and we stay below freezing. Well, usually we're below freezing by now. Well, not really. We're getting close. We'll have days below freezing. And it is dropping down below freezing at night. It's just during the day it's getting up warmer. Not every night. Some nights, the last week it's only been down to like 40s, mid 40s. But, before that we had several days with where the watering system was froze up in the morning, ice on the, the top of the hutch, that kind of thing. And the birds are fine. They don't need the heat lamp. Jay Moore says, mine are molting and getting less eggs, but was an egg overload. Dehydrated 10 dozen eggs before it got cold. Now getting up enough eggs to just eat fresh. Yeah, they do tend to shut down whenever they're molting. It's pretty common. If you don't have lights on them, they're probably not laying at all. Mine are not laying at all right now because I don't have the lights on them right now. We're just taking a break. But yeah, 10 dozen eggs dehydrated. That's quite a bit. Vams, there we go. Vams says, perfect. Thank you. I figured the stress of all the new changes may have contributed for not having. Yeah, it could be that. It could be. Who knows? Like I said, I'd give her another shot and see. Blessed with Pets says, yes, I bought the buck to the doe. Good. And I've tried a neutral area. I'm 13, so can't drive. I got one forced fall off and one doe, so I'm hoping to get some does from that litter, and I hope it worked. Yeah, it sounds like you're doing the right thing. Yeah, you can't drive yet. Maybe you can talk somebody into driving you around the block. Good luck trying to explain to them why you need to take your rabbit around the block a couple of times. They're going to think you're crazy. But you can tell them you heard it from a guy on YouTube, and they'll think you're even crazier, probably. And it doesn't necessarily need to be driven around the block. You might put her in a carrier and walk her around the block or something. I don't know why that works. It doesn't make any sense. But if you got one fall off, like a forced fall off, chances are you're going to have baby rabbits pretty soon. So, and who knows? Usually after they've been bred one time, they'll be more receptive the next time. So hopefully you don't have that issue going forward. What the Quail Farm says, liked with a thumbs up. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Verna says 62 watch, only 30 thumbs up. Come on, people, show Chris some love. Thank you, Verna. I appreciate that. Heather Johnson says, I have a doe who's 3.5. She's experienced, but I'm new to rabbits. I bred her about 3 weeks ago, and today I noticed that she passed a clot. Any thoughts or guidance on that? Really, that's kind of strange. 3 weeks ago. Have you, maybe your timing's off a little bit. If you haven't tried already, try throwing some straw in there. See if she's hay stashing. I don't know if you know exactly what I mean by that, but it'll be real obvious. She'll gather up the hay or the straw. It'll be hanging out both sides of her mouth, and she'll be wandering around the cage looking for a place to build a nest. It'll be real obvious behavior. You'll know what's happening. So if she is doing that, put a nest box in there right away. She's probably ready to have her babies. I don't know that I've ever noticed one of my rabbits passing a clot, necessarily, but that doesn't mean it doesn't happen. A lot of times rabbits will clean that stuff up before you find it, or it, goes through the bottom of the cage floor or whatever. But yeah, I don't know if she's acting fine. She's not lethargic. Her eyes don't look glossy or any of that kind of stuff. Probably not a big deal. I wouldn't worry about it too much. There's not much you can do probably, but again, check, see if she's ready to build her nest. Throw a handful of straw in there, and if she starts hay stashing and walking around with it, she's ready to build her nest. Put a nest box in there and get ready. Jay Morris says, do rabbits ever need C-sections like cats? Maybe. I don't know. I'm sure that it's happened before. I don't know if anybody's ever paid a vet to do a C-section on a rabbit. Call me cold-hearted, but that seems like a huge waste of money to me. But I don't know if you got pedigree rabbits and that's your livelihood, then it makes sense, I guess. But yeah, I don't know that I've ever heard of it happening. I don't know that a rabbit would respond too well to that. They're pretty easily stressed out, and I don't know that they'd respond well to being put out with anesthesia. And I don't know. Who knows? What the Quail Farm says, do you sell balut rabbits? No, I don't even know if that's a thing. And if it is, I don't know that I want to be part of it. That sounds terrible. But no, I don't. Blessed with Pets says, I'm scared to post rabbit videos on my channels because my channel is a pet channel, Blessed with Pets, and I'll get tons of comments on wire flooring, though I have mats and stuff. Yeah, let me tell you a secret here. It doesn't matter what you post, you're going to get hateful comments. You're going to get people that just either don't understand or just for whatever reason want to make your life miserable because it makes them feel better for some reason or another. Just ignore them. Don't even try to get into an argument with them. And don't even try to convince them. You can tell some people are going to come in there and they are going to talk about wire cages, and some of them come from a heart of, they really believe that the rabbits are suffering because they're on wire cages. It's just a misunderstanding. They really believe what they're saying, though, and they're not coming at you being hateful. They're just saying, please put them on a different, flooring than that. They're not meant to live on wire cages. What gets me are the ones that like, how would you like to live on wire cages? How would you like to live in a bowl of water? You're not a rabbit. You're not a fish. You can't just say, well, I wouldn't want to live in a bowl of water, so that fish doesn't need to be in a bowl of water. It's ridiculous. But anyway, again, they really do mean, like, they really do believe that it's wrong. They're not just trying to be hateful to you. Take it with a grain of salt. Don't let it affect you. You're going to deal with that your entire life, one way or another. And the sooner you can learn to not let it get to you, the better off you're going to be for it. Just ignore it. And I don't mean that as, hopefully I didn't come across hateful, but it doesn't matter. You could post a video with, a bunny rabbit running through a field of flowers, and somebody's going to find a reason to talk hateful to you about it and find something wrong with it. It's going to happen. Just ignore it. Don't worry about it. All right. Where are we at here? Yeah, I'm kind of with Verna here saying to Jay Moore, balut has to do with eggs, not other babies. Yeah, I kind of thought the same thing too. And as far as, Deronda wants to know how you dehydrated the eggs. Looks like you responded. Jay Moore says, a dehydrator until done and put in a blender, rather oily, so put in the freezer in a Mylar bag. Interesting. There's some talk going on with Whiskey Tango Farms. I'll let you guys talk. Jay Moore says, was asking if I ever got rabbits, do they ever need C-sections? You shouldn't have to ever worry about that. I don't think that's a big concern. I've never had that issue. I've never had to worry about it. Ed says, Chris, any luck bagging a deer? No, I did not. During the rut, which was about a week before gun season, man, they were just going. I don't know if I told the story or not, but, I had a nice buck come out, and he was 30 yards, and it was before gun season. So I was hunting with my crossbow, and I was hunting in a blind, and man, I had deer moving all around me. It was the rut activity big time. Bucks were running. I could hear them sparring in the woods in front of me. It was crazy active. And this nice buck comes walking by on my left-hand side. I saw a couple of bucks run by on my right-hand side. They were moving pretty fast, decent ones. And I was watching them, paying attention to them, trying to see if one of them was going to stop and stand there. But they didn't. They just ran into the woods and chased each other around for a while and were chasing a doe. And I looked over to my left-hand side, and I saw a pretty nice buck walking down my left-hand side about 30 yards away. And I thought, oh, that's not a bad buck. And there was another one behind him that was even a little bit bigger. And I thought, that's a pretty good buck. I could take that deer. And they walked into the woods, and I thought, we're gone. I grunted a couple of times. They didn't respond to it at all. And a few minutes later, that buck, I see him stick his head out of the woods right where he went in, and he sticks his nose out like he sees a doe, and he's going to go after her, and he starts walking. So he gets out there I get my crossbow up. I get it aimed right about where he's going. He gets up there right where I want him to be. And I grunted at him. I go, ugh, he stopped and looked, and I shot, got a great shot off. He didn't jump. He didn't run. He just kind of flinched real hard and then walked off. So I gave him about half an hour, 45 minutes. My cousin was out hunting with me, and my cousin was in another blind about 200 yards off to that side kind of anyway. And he saw the deer go by, and he saw I shot the deer on the left-hand side. When the deer went by his blind, it was on the right-hand side, and he could see blood on the right-hand side. So the arrow went through. So we gave him about 45 minutes, found the blood trail, tracked it into the woods, and came to a place. I mean, we tracked it for quite a while, 200 yards, something like that. And get to the end, we couldn't find any more blood. And I looked for that deer for 2.5 hours and never found it. So that was rough. And then during gun season, I did have a nice big buck walk out beside me, but there was a bunch of brush between. I mean, he was close. He was 10 yards from me, and I was just sitting next to a tree on a chair. So I couldn't move. He was on my right-hand side. I couldn't get turned around to aim. He, walked behind a tree, had my vision blocked. So I turned in the chair, and the chair creaked a little bit, which startled him. He threw his tail up and jumped a few steps up, but I had my gun up by that time. But there was a bunch of brush between me and him, and I could see him through the scope, but I couldn't tell where I was at on his body. So it wasn't a good ethical shot. I didn't take it. I thought if he steps out to the right or to the left, takes 2 more steps, he'll be out in the open. I'll get him. He went to the right and walked off through the woods. So no, I did not get him. I've been out a couple more times, haven't seen any deer. Rut has slowed down, but second rut's coming. So hopefully next week or 2, I'll be able to get one. We'll see. Wish I'd have had the camera out there with me, but it's just so hard to self-film your hunts because, it's not like these hunting shows where, they have the camera on. They usually have a camera guy, but even the ones that are self-hunting, it seems like in those hunting shows, I don't know where they're hunting, where they see the deer coming from, 300, 400 yards away. Where I hunt, it's like, crunch, crunch, there's a deer right there. Like, he just suddenly appeared right there. You don't see him coming through the woods and have time to prepare. They're just there all of a sudden, and they're only there for just a minute or 2. You got to make a decision pretty quick, and they're gone. It's not, I don't ever get those where they just kind of come out there and piddle around and walk around, and it never happens, hardly ever anyway. My Shire says, I hit the button and I have to go now, but have a good night, everyone. Thanks, Zach. I appreciate that. You have a good night too. Anyway, that's my deer hunting story. You guys will have to live with the story because I didn't get any of it on video. Celtic Root says, greetings from New Hampshire. Hope everyone is doing well. I hope you are too. Thank you. Craig and Sarah says, I've enjoyed your videos. I use a lot of your techniques for my rabbits and quail. I appreciate you for your teaching and experience. Well, thank you very much for the kind comments. I appreciate that. Thank you for watching the videos too. I scrolled too far. There we go. Verna says, Chris, I set my eggs on the 1st. Nice. Well, hopefully you have a really good hatch rate. Patty says, Nosy here in Tennessee, what's in the tote over your left shoulder? What's in the tote over my left shoulder? Right here? Can you guys see that right here? This tote? It's just a bunch of junk. It's like stuff that, some of it's Christmas presents and things that we just haven't given away yet. Just stuff. It's nothing really. It's just this room is so cluttered. I have a tendency, this kind of becomes my catch-all room. So I don't know if that's what you're talking about or if you're talking about back there. I don't know if you can see that. That's a milk crate back there, and that's full of reloading, like reloading blocks and reloading dies. When I bought my reloading press, it came with a whole bunch of stuff that I just have no use for. So I've stacked it in there. I tried to sell it all a while back, but nobody really wanted to buy it, so it's just been sitting there ever since. Derek says, do jumbo quail make all the difference? Yeah, absolutely. Jumbo quail are the way to go if you're looking for meat and eggs. jumbo pharaohs are by far probably the best. They're much bigger. They're great layers. They just are. It's the way to go. What the Quail Farm says, was able to catch the fox that, was you able to catch the fox that attacked your quail? No, I haven't. I'm not looking to catch him. I think my dog just came in, drew my attention. Sorry. I wasn't looking to catch him. I don't really want him dead necessarily. I just want him to leave my quail alone. And so far, he's leaving him alone right now. I don't have any. I keep forgetting. I need to pick up some hardware cloth and run another row of it underneath my regular cage to prevent him from getting up to it. But no, he's left for whatever reason. I don't know if he'll be back or not. We'll see. I don't get too angry at if I didn't have a way to fix it myself, I'd be a little bit more angry. I mean, if it was like if I'd tried all kinds of things and he was persistent and tore him up and got to him and over again, I'd be a little bit more upset about it. But honestly, I don't get too angry about those things. The fox is just trying to eat, and who knows? It may have babies that it's trying to feed. I don't know. So I do, if I lose a bird or something, I throw it back in my back tree line, and I think, something's going to eat it, something's going to benefit off that. He probably gets a bunch of those, and I haven't lost any birds for a while, so he was probably getting pretty hungry. Celtic Roots Farm says, we never use a heat lamp here in New Hampshire. Potentially dangerous to use one because they get acclimated to the heat. If you lose power and can't provide anymore, it could be a shock to them. That's a good point. Yeah, that's a real good point. And Rick says, blessed with pets, you need to take the doe to the buck. I thought that's what he or she said. Where is that? Yes, I brought the buck to the... Oh, you said you brought the buck to the doe. Yeah, that's backwards. You always want to take the doe to the buck. Don't ever take the buck to the doe. Does get very territorial about their cage space. They can do a lot of damage to your bucks. They can be very aggressive. So you always take the doe out of her cage, put her in the cage with the buck. That's the way to do it. I'm sorry, I misread that earlier. Thank you, Rednecked, for catching that. Live Off Grid says, hello, Chris. Thank you for your advice last week. We drove our doe around the block and our buck had several fall-offs. It worked. Yeah, I'm always surprised by that. I have no idea. Okay, now I see Blessed Pet with Pet says, yeah, I meant to say the doe to the buck. You got it then. Never mind. We're good. I never bring the buck to the doe. You got it. All right. Sorry. Casey Outdoors says, good night. All I have to watch a show with my wife. You have to, huh? Don't tell her you said have to. But yeah, good. I understand completely. Hope you have a good night. So I'm going to have to wrap it up here in a couple of minutes anyway. My wife is off work. So, a few prayers for her, if you would. She had hernia surgery on Tuesday, so she's recovering from that. Still in a lot of pain, but, she's doing all right. She's recovering, just, not doing a whole lot, but laying in the chair and, getting up to go to the bathroom and stuff like that, which is, I can just see it. It's painful. So, but anyway, so a few prayers for her speedy recovery would be appreciated. Derek says, any thoughts on hanging rabbit cages above chickens in deep bedding, i.e. Joe Salatin's Rockin' House? Yeah, I don't see, that would be great. Seems like a great option. You don't want to hang it above you want to hang it where the chickens can get under it, but not necessarily above the chicken. You don't want to put them in cages underneath it. That would be rough. But yes, I absolutely think that's a great idea. Katrina says, for your rabbit nest boxes, what's the reason for the size? I have nest boxes from the previous owner, and they are larger. I need to make one more, as hopefully all three are pregnant. I don't know if a larger cage or a larger nest box is bad for any reason whatsoever. Why I developed mine that size, I don't even remember where I got that design from initially. But that was the size, whatever it was, that was suggested for whatever reason. And I don't remember where that came from exactly, but it's always worked. That's what I've always used. It's always worked. I've never had any issues. The only thing I would worry about is if you had a much, much larger nest box, would be the babies squirming away from each other. They really need to be together. I don't know that that's going to be a big issue. They do tend to kind of snuggle together anyway to stay warm, but that would be the only thing I would worry about. I don't know that it's something to really worry about. I think it's probably okay. I wouldn't worry about it too much at all. The only other thing would be, it's going to take a lot more straw to fill up a larger nest box than it does a smaller one like mine, but that's it. Heather says she's not stashing hay yet. Your videos have been helpful on that. I keep checking her Heidi box, and it's empty too. I guess I'll just keep watching her, see if she gets weird. Thanks. Yeah, I don't know that I'd worry about it too much. Just keep an eye on her. Rabbits are pretty sensitive usually, so they're usually going to show some kind of sign. If there's something wrong, you should know it. And what you'll look for is, like I said, watch their eyes. You can usually see most animals, you can kind of tell by looking in their eyes. If they're bright and shiny and the rabbit's not lethargic, it's moving around just fine, it's eating, it's drinking, it's, then it's probably fine. If they start getting like their eyes start looking foggy or glossy, not glossy, I guess, foggy or, I don't know, kind of cloudy or droopy, and they start just kind of hunkering down in the corner and not moving much, you can kind of tell that there's something maybe going on there. But I don't know that I'd worry about it too much. I think it's going to be fine. All right, Celtic Root says, when we raised rabbits, we always had a run of them and a place for them to get out of the weather. I see so many people just keep them in a cage with no protection from the weather. Yeah, I mean, protection from the weather is definitely important. And if you want to have a run for them to get out of the cage and get, have a run where they can run around and all that, fine. That's perfectly fine too. I can't do that here. If I did that, they would get eaten by my dog or a hawk or something. I mean, something's going to get to them if they're out running around for sure. Now I could put, the top over it, but yes, mine are protected from the weather, and that's absolutely important. You need to do that. Blessed with Pets says, I want to mention that I can't get new does because my parents are tired of me asking for more pets, and I barely got the proven buck when my first buck didn't do his job. It took me 2 months to get him. Oh, I understand. Well, you just do what you can. It's not going to be like that forever. It's, a short time here. It seems like forever. I know. I remember being 13 years old, but it's not going to be forever. There's going to come a time when you can do pretty much whatever you want. Don't go overboard when you can, but just hang in there. It's going to be fine. All right. Hello to you, old BD1. Derek says, better to process rabbits at 8, 10, or 12 weeks. It doesn't really matter. I like to process them at 8 weeks if they're up to weight by then, 5 pounds. And the reason I like to do that, that's one of the reasons I'm looking for pedigree rabbits and good quality breeding stock, is so I can get babies that grow out to 5 pounds by 8 weeks. It takes a lot less food to feed a rabbit for 8 weeks than it does for 12 weeks. So, but honestly, it doesn't matter. I don't do it on age. I do it on size. When they get to 5 pounds, roughly, that's when I go ahead and process. The Lair Shell Farm says, very true. I posted a video of my dog opening the door and I got thumbs down. I was like, what the heck is not to like about that? Yeah, I get it. I know some people don't like doors, I guess. Yeah. My dog is, he's right now going to the back door to open it and let himself out. So I shouldn't say that, huh? Somebody's going to thumbs down my video. And, oh no, he decided to come in and see us. Come here, Max. Come and say hi, buddy. Come on. Up here. Come on. He's being shy. You guys know Max, don't you? You've seen him before. Here he is. He's a good dog. All right. In a SHTF situation where there's a breakdown in supply chain and commercial feed is scarce or not available, what would you suggest you feed your quail? Thanks for what you do. Boy, that's a good question. I really don't know. I've been asked that a couple of times, and I've asked other people other people that raise quail that are in the same kind of, that do the same things that I do, if they had suggestions on like making your own food, growing your own food, and they didn't really have any. I got to assume in a situation like that where you can't get commercial feed, it may be hard to get seed as well. Otherwise, fodder would be a good option to at least, get them through until you can get other things. Wheat, barley, something like that would be a good option. Rye, maybe even. But I don't have a mix for commercial. If it ever comes down to the problem where there's a real breakdown in supply chain, you can't get any commercial feed, not available at all, I'm probably going to eat all my birds because it's probably going to be hard for me to find other food anyway. But I don't know. We'll see. Verna says, I need to do more videos on my channel. Yeah, that's that big. If you want your YouTube channel to grow, you've got to be consistent. You've got to post videos. I haven't been the best about that lately, but working on it. And I'm also trying to work it out to where I can get back to responding to comments. So if you guys have left comments in the last couple of days, the last couple of months, I haven't really responded to any comments for a while. I need to fix that. I'm sorry. But anyway, Little Creek Homestead, hello, new subscriber here. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Says, I was binge watching your rabbit videos last night. Well, awesome. Thank you very much for that. Hopefully you found the information you needed from it. Heather, same thing happened with videos on my dog opening bottles. We give him empty ones because it's cool to watch him unscrew it, but people don't like it. Yeah, people are not going to like it. It doesn't matter. Like I said, they're not going to like something. Retha says, hey, Chris, we're wanting to get started with quail. What brand of incubator do you recommend? You know, Hovabator gets really good reviews. I use a Little Giant, and I've had good luck with that. I keep waiting for it to break down, and so I can buy a new one and get a nice new, Hovabator or something like that. I don't know. Living Traditions Homestead had I can't remember what incubator they used, but they had what looked like a really nice incubator. It's pretty expensive, but it had like a humidity control on it. You just set it all digitally, and it does it. It looked like a really nice one. I might look into one of those if I ever have to get a new one. But they're pretty expensive. So if you want to stay on the cheaper side, Hovabator, Little Giant, Farm Innovations, they're all pretty good. I think of the three, Hovabator's probably the best. But there's a lot to be able to choose from there. Wow, there's a lot of comments. I'm not going to get through them all, am I? No, I'm past time. Let's get through one or two more here, and then we'll wrap this one up. Sorry if I didn't get to your comment tonight, but Celtic Roots Farm. Yeah, we just did a video helping others promote other homesteaders' channels and giving away a prize to one of them. And we got a thumbs down. Yeah. Just got to ignore it and move on. Yep, absolutely. And Laura Shell Farm says, I end up laughing and wondering how unhappy some people must be. Oh, yeah. You're going to find unhappy people anywhere. And it doesn't matter what you do. They're going to be unhappy and grumpy. Your best thing is to pray for them because they are unhappy, grumpy people. They need to have joy in their life. They need to overcome that. They probably don't even realize they're that way, but that's all we can do. All right. Favorite brand of rabbit pellet? I try to ride the line between quality and affordability. I get mine from a local feed store. What is it? H&M, I think is what it's called. But it's just, I can just get it from the local feed store. I think they're all probably pretty much the same. I don't know that I'd worry about it too much. I don't know that there's one that's significantly better than another. I don't know if I can give you great advice on that. All right. I got to wrap this one up, guys. We're a little bit past time. I know I was late, but I still got to wrap it up. I got to work tomorrow. Go take care of my wife, make sure she's doing okay. And that's it. So I'm going to wrap it up right here. Thank you guys for joining. If I didn't get to your comment tonight, I apologize. I'm sorry for that. But thank you for joining me for a little bit of time on the live broadcast. We'll hopefully see you guys again next Thursday. At this point, I don't see any reason why I can't be here next Thursday. So hopefully we'll see you guys then. In the meantime, take care. And as always, God bless. We'll see you later. Take care.